So while Stadia is still relatively new to the gaming world, it's a platform that after a year of being around is still surprisingly making its own games and its own exclusives. Stadia owns several of their own gaming studios making cloud-only games, but what about what they currently have? What Stadia exclusives does this platform even own? We're going to go ahead and explore that in this video, and surprisingly there's quite a few games on this list from this library. They have their mix of Stadia only exclusives and games that are temporarily on the platform for a short while before they branch out. Either way, my aim is to cover them in this video in full, and last thing I'll do is talk about what type of Stadia exclusives we will see in the future. Check the timestamps down below. With that, subscribe to the fastest growing Stadia and cloud gaming channel in all of YouTube, and hit that like button and notification bell to know when my daily videos go live. So let's start this video with what I think is the best Stadia exclusive, but not the only good one on this list. It's one of my favorite games of 2020, and that is Orcs Must Die 3. It's a tower defense game and a type of strategy game that doesn't typically catch my interest, but this one is worth a look even if it's not your jam. It's packed with plenty of content, lots of orcs to kill, levels featuring hundreds of enemies on the screen at once, and a Stadia exclusive feature in Stream Connect when you play multiplayer. This is one of my favorites on the entire Stadia platform, but it will eventually see a PC release. In the meantime though, you can enjoy this exclusively on Stadia with Stadia Pro. Stadia is a game that launched in the summer of 2020, and it's Stadia's version of Roblox, a game where you create what your heart desires. It has multiplayer battles, mini games, or just plain worlds that you can create, then you share that creation with your fellow Stadia player. It's an ambitious title, one that is still being updated and improved, and it's another title that is playable on Stadia Pro. The game's also set to release outside of Stadia at some point, but no word on that date. Otherwise though, you can currently enjoy it as an exclusive Stadia game. Now this is one of my favorite party games of all time, and it's one that launched early in 2020. Get Packed is a game where you simply just pack up and move out, only it has wacky physics that really makes for some hilarious gameplay. Featuring online and local co-op, it's one of my go-to games for just pure mayhem, and it's easily one of the most underrated games on Stadia. You won't get much enjoyment though out of it playing solo, but it really shines in co-op settings. This is a must-have for a gaming session with the family or just a get-together with your friends. Guilt is the very first Stadia exclusive to appear on the platform, and to this day is one of the most underrated games on Stadia. Now while it didn't make a lot of noise outside of the Stadia community, it remains to be a solid horror title that even your kids could get into. Granted, those might not typically go together, but the game has a great blend of horror, puzzles, and an interesting story that it works for pretty much all ages. The jump scares aren't completely gruesome, but they're still horrifyingly enough to really get enjoyment out of this one. One of my favorite games on Stadia, and one to look into if you're into horror games. Super Bomberman R is one of the free-to-play titles that anyone can play without actually investing a dime into Stadia. It's a game that I've enjoyed quite a bit. It's following the formula of the Bomberman series, only in this one you're pitted against your fellow Stadia player in an all-out battle royale that will feature up to 64 players. The craziness that ensues in a gaming session with this game gets intense, fun, and it's pretty skillful to win one of these matches that can really take a lot of practice. If you're interested in this game, the cool thing is that you can play it completely free on Stadia, so consider signing up and checking the game out completely risk-free. What I love about Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle is how they took such a classic formula that we all know and love and experienced at one point or another, even if you're not a hardcore gamer, and they blew it up into a crazy 64-player experience. Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle is another unique battle royale, only it's featuring the classic gameplay of the Pac-Man games, only you can actually eat your fellow Stadia player. It's unique and it's a fun game, and one that you will enjoy if you like Pac-Man, so definitely consider checking this one out if you're new to Stadia. So Submerged Hidden Depths might be one of Stadia's best kept secrets, as this game launched with almost no fanfare of any kind as a pro title, but it's a gem that you'll enjoy if you're looking for a relaxing atmospheric game, and you'll be exploring and uncovering mysteries in a game that is pretty short to finish. More than likely you'll be ending this one in just a couple of hours, but at the same time it's just a fantastic title. The game is currently free with Stadia Pro, so I definitely recommend it, and definitely consider checking this game out if you're looking for just that pure relaxing adventure. Gunsport is a unique indie game featuring a future cyberpunk world with a unique future sport where you shoot the ball into the net almost like volleyball with guns and you try to score on your opponent's goal. The game features a solo campaign, local co-op, and online player versus player, and it's another game where you can just duke it out with your friends at home and play a complete unique experience and essentially a unique sport. This one is also free to claim with Stadia Pro, and it should remain so in the future, so if you're interested in this one, grab it out and check out a futuristic sport game. So if you've ever dreamed of doing kick flips with your boat, Wavebreak might actually be for you. It's featuring an 80s crime-filled Miami Vice backdrop, online multiplayer, and a story with crazy characters and one of the best soundtracks in all of the Stadia exclusives. This is a unique game bringing some Tony Hawk's mixed with some GTA. It's a weird combo for sure, but it's a fun one. This is only an exclusive title though for a short period, but with that said, this is still a game that you can check out in the Stadia library, so if you're interested, definitely give it a go. Alright, and last but certainly not least, and my favorite multiplayer game on all of Stadia is Outcasters, and this is a top-down arena game featuring several modes, including even a mini battle royale and deathmatch. Here you can take out your fellow players, customize your character in what seems like thousands of ways. It seems really just limitless, and you can just plain duke it out with your fellow Stadian. The gameplay is simple, featuring power-ups and maneuvers, and simply just aiming your attacks can definitely take some skill. It's another truly unique game and one that I hope does become completely free, but otherwise you can enjoy this game as well through Stadia Pro. With that, let's finally talk about future games coming to Stadia that are exclusive, and we have one in Hello Engineer that has been announced and set to be a first on Stadia title, which again means that it's an exclusive for a short period of time. This one is set to come in 2021 and is bringing a familiar series in the Scrap Mechanic series, only in the Hello Neighbor world. We're also set to hear more announcements from partner studios like Harmonix, the makers of Rock Band and Guitar Hero, presumably for a similar exclusive game, and then Supermassive Games, the makers of Until Dawn, should also have an announcement sometime in 2021. Of course, that game will come with probably pretty high expectations. Last, we have some exclusive content from games like Journey to the Savage Planet with the Employee of the Month edition, which should be on Stadia depending on when you're seeing this video. As for games built specifically for the cloud with Stadia, we might not hear about a game from Stadia Games and Entertainment this year, but if we do, it would be potentially much later, so stay tuned to the channel. Overall, Stadia in just over 1 year has built up a solid library of exclusive games expanding over quite a few genres, but really it still has a ways to go to really make its mark outside of cloud gamers. Titles such as Orcs Must Die 3 featuring a ton of enemies on screen, or even Grid that features 40-player car races, an exclusive Stadia feature, shows that the constraints of normal hardware can be bypassed with Stadia and cloud gaming, and I for one look forward to seeing those games in the future. Hopefully you guys subscribe to always be up to date on that news. With that, let me know down below your favorite Stadia exclusive currently, and what Stadia exclusives do you hope to see in the future. Like this video, share, and hit that notification bell. As always, I'm Sunny, and I'll see you guys in the cloud.